Hey, Shalom Akim. First and foremost, give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bashim Yoshai, Bashmacha Kudash. Double honors under the Elders Apostle Green Millstone, the Elders Green Millstone, and of course, peace and blessings under the hopeful elect. The sincere servants of Yahweh, Bashim Yoshai, serve him in truth and sincerity. Yes, on the brother Chayabo from GMS Plain Tables Camp, come back with another lesson to the Spirit. Yes, so this lesson be based off of this article from nationalnews.com, which is entitled, it says, Iran will not end its nuclear program, and World War III has only accelerated, despite the government's insistence that everyone is crazy for suggesting so. So, hey. And this right here, of course, is biblical prophecy. World War III will ultimately have there will be a World War III, and how there will be a nuclear war. So of course it's only going to accelerate. And what we understand how we are in the very end times where, again, all these things happening, and it's a lot of things happening as we're speaking, but you know what, for the final things right before Yahushua returns, War III happening. Of course, what the mark of the beast being implemented before War III happens, which the mark of the beast being mandated very soon, or what the mark of the beast being mandated is very soon. It's at the door. So it says, in a bold challenge to the United States and Israel, Iran's newly elected president, it says Masoud, or let's see how you say that.
Masoud Pezeshkian. Masoud Pezeshkian.
Yeah, Masoud Pezeshkian. It says, has declared that his country will never abandon its nuclear ambitions, despite escalating threats of military action from Western powers. And it says, in an incendiary interview with Al Jazeera, it says, Pezeshkian confirmed that Iran remains prepared for war and will continue enriching uranium even as Washington warns of dire consequences. It says, with tensions at a boiling point, the world is left questioning who decides which nations can possess nuclear weapons and have the aggressive actions on the U.S., or says of the U.S., and Israel fueled a dangerous arms race, pushing countries like Iran toward seeking atomic capabilities as a deterrent. It says, this explosive standoff isn't just about nukes. It's about sovereignty, power struggles, and the failure of diplomatic institutions to prevent conflict. As Iran digs in its heels, the U.S. and Israel push harder, setting the stage for a confrontation that could spiral ongoing conflicts in the Middle East. Yeah. And hey, these other nations aren't stopping, man. As we know, the United States was always known as a superpower, which what the United States, according to the Bible, the Holy Bible, is known as Babylon the Great. And what both the Old Testament and the New Testament go about speaking about America, both referring onto it as Babylon, but the daughter of the Chaldeans, the great whore. That's what America is described as. Joel chapter 3 and 9, it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men, it says, read again, Joel chapter 3 and 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Yeah. So that's exactly what the Gentiles are doing, which the Gentiles are the heathen. In this sense, what the Gentiles are the heathen, the other nations. So what the other nations, other than the nation of Israel, and I'm not speaking about the state of Israel, I'm referring on to our people Israel, you know, because the so-called blacks, Native Americans, Latinos, the real biblical Israelites. Of course, we're scattered as a people. A lot of us dwell in the United States, but of course, which is Babylon the Great, which is going to be the main place where the Lord delivers the Israelites from. But of course, the Lord's going to deliver the rest of the elect of the nation of Israel. Of course, that's scattered amongst the whole world. But of course, what the great deliverance will start with Babylon the Great for the Israelites located in this place, Israel, or Slakia, and Babylon the Great for the elect Israelites located within this place. It says, Joel chapter 3 and 10, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Exactly. So it says, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Yeah, so these other nations were once at a low estate compared to Babylon the Great. But now what? Now they're... Now we can see that they're increasing, and what they're quickly increasing. Of course, concerning military, missiles, AI, technology. I mean, what China is known now is now known for its technology. China wasn't always known for that. Russia, China together, they're known for their military might. Showing that, again, these other nations are beating, and these countries within the Middle East, such as Iran, they're now they're on the news concerning their missiles. Showing you it says, Joel chapter 3 and 10, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Yeah, there you have it. That's exactly what's happening. So it's no stopping this war, man. Ultimately, this is what the Lord is setting up. This all throughout the scriptures. Scriptures prophesy about the Third World War. Getting Revelation chapter 11. And 14, it says, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. The second woe being World War II. World War II has already passed. And the third woe, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So Revelation chapter 11 and 14, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Woe meaning war. So the third war is coming quickly. So no, it's not going to be any decelerations. There's going to be only accelerations. You can't stop what the Lord has prepared. This is what the Lord has ordained, which is World War III. And the scriptures say how, pretty much, Yahushua will come back with the fire kindled in the earth, meaning things will be happening when Yahushua comes back. Yahushua is not going to return in peaceful time. Literally, Yahushua is going to return to deliver his elect. Because if he didn't return, because the time when Yahushua is returning is going to be at the climax of World War III, when the nuclear war is popping off. So if we didn't return, then the elect will perish. The elect Israelites, of course, within Babylon the Great will perish. So the Lord's coming back to deliver his elect, also to conquer and completely stop and take down these other nations. Strong with, of course, Babylon the Great. And strong with the people, the main people that run Babylon the Great, which is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. The Lord Yahushai, the Heavenly Father Yahweh, sent back his son Yahushai to do that. So it says, key points, going back to the article, key points, Iran's president has publicly defied U.S. demands to halt uranium enrichment, framing its nuclear program as peaceful, but Washington insists Tehran is lying. It says Pezeshkian revealed that Iran is fully prepared for war with Israel, warning that any Israeli attack will be met with harsh retaliation deep inside Israeli territory. And It says, the U.S. and Israel launched coordinated strikes on Iran's nuclear sites in June, but Tehran downplays the damage, claiming its nuclear knowledge lives in the minds of scientists. It says Iran has banned IAEA inspectors, and it says accusing that the agency of leaking classified intelligence to Israel. Further eroding trust in global nuclear oversight. It says former President Donald Trump has vowed to strike again if Iran rebuilds its nuclear program, raising fears of a new Middle East conflict. Yeah, boy, you can keep on reading the article, but hey, the point is that there's no stopping this. It says, Jeremiah chapter 50 and 9, it says, for lo, I'll raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken, the arrow shall be as of a mighty expert man, none shall return in vain. We know Babylon the Great, again, is in this sense, again, when the Old Testament speaks about Babylon, it's not only speaking about ancient Babylon. In some cases, in many cases, it's speaking about the modern day Babylon, which is America. And this is one of those many cases. So Jeremiah chapter 50 is going into modern day Babylon. So it says, for lo, I'll raise to come up against Babylon, which is America. It says, an assembly of great nations from the north country, an assembly of great nations from the north country. So the north country is Russia, and that assembly of great nations from that north country, it is the Russian Federation. It says, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. The arrow shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. Exactly. So ultimately, that's what's going to happen. These other nations will come up against America to take it down. And as time goes on, as time quickly, what keeps moving on, which again, World War III is right around the corner. It's at the door. And with the MOTB being mandated, it's at the door. Again, as these things keep on happening, and as the Lord speeds these things up, of course, these other nations will keep on, or these other nations will get farther and farther away from America, meaning, concerning any alliances that these other nations have with America, or again, all that's gonna fall, and ultimately, America will be turned on during World War III, as well as the state of Israel, and that's biblical prophecy. So I believe it's a point. Lord, show you blessed and edified. Yahweh Bashmiel Shai, Bashim Kakurash Brakatham. Shalom.